Okay, so this video 5 or 6. Anyway, so yeah, so the beast fell and and he's currently, trying to secure the Holy Land for himself, right? Okay, and thus also, incarcerated my son, right? Trying to frame my son, you know, and even the people who are supposed to, who made a deal with the prosecutor, from what I understand, he paid for the attorney of all the others who are going to try to testify against my son, right? Right? Who made a deal for himself, right? And all this because my son wouldn't plea bargain, right? And thus basically lock himself up, right? No, my son demanded a jury trial, right? Okay. Now, so anyway, so the beast is attacked the people after my son's birthday, right? On the Islamic calendar, which was Rabi 21, 1445, which was October 6th, 2023, and they attacked the Palestinians, the Muslims, October 7th, 2023, which was Rabi Al-Wal 22, right? 22, right? Okay. Okay, now, okay, so as we said, now, so Ramadan, the holy month of fasting, Muslims and those who say they are Christians, right? Well, Jews, stand with Muhammad, fast, rejuvenate your energy to the higher frequency. Fast, let's do it together, right? Okay. To rejuvenate your energy, fast. Okay, so it is a test between Ramadan is a holy month of fasting. One is to adhere or submit completely to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a test between the believer and the their spiritual virtue, okay, of their soul or their lack thereof. So fasting is a testimony to the strength of one's soul, or conviction, the virtue of their soul, right? The convictions of their soul. And karma is the reward for success or failure of the beautiful spiritual test. It is a cosmic test given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he tests those whom he loves, first of all, and and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone has chosen those he seeks to elevate or demote, and he rewards. And the rewards can be astronomical. The elevation can be astronomical, and the demoting of one can be astronomical as well. And that's what this the eclipse is going to be. First of all, this new moon is on the axis of Isis. This new moon is on the axis of Isis, right? And this new moon in Virgo is on the axis of Isis, right? Reflecting, right? Hamza, right? And the Christ consciousness, the activator of the avatar and activator of the Christ consciousness, who is, a Aquarian, right? And at Uranus at the time of his birth was also in Aries with Jupiter, right? And every time Jupiter is in my celestial house, oh my God, I have this spiritual awakening that just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. If you personally knew me, at that time, oh my gosh, you'd say, what? Like my children would say, what's going on with mom? I think mom's kind of losing it. Mom's kind of crazy. Mom's kind of this. Mom's kind of that. But I have a deeper spiritual awakening every time Jupiter's in my house. Oh my gosh, my life just changes completely, absolutely completely when Jupiter's in my house, right? Okay, my celestial house. Okay, so, So the rewards can be astronomical. Okay, no, so we were on the axis. Okay, so when the Christ consciousness was, the activator of Christ consciousness, right, was incarnated, Uranus was in my celestial house, right? So he was born to my celestial house, right? And also now Michael Jackson, mashallah, subhanahu benefits of him. Michael Jackson, the iconic, legendary, handsome, sexy, ooh, beautiful Michael Jackson, whom I love and adore tremendously. Praise be to Allah. I just love him. But anyway, Michael Jackson is the dispositor, and I'm not sure I know what that word means, but I'm hoping it means like the one who kind of orchestrates the events that occur in a certain, house. He's in a certain position to orchestrate the certain events of that, whatever is occurring, right? So he would be like the organizer, right? The organelle in the womb, right? He would be like the organizer, as he is a Virgo, as he is a mercurial, childlike, you know, king of kings, king of pops, right? King of fathers, because all fathers are kings. Every father is a king. His potential nation is his child, right? So Michael is the king of those pops, right? Because he's the dispositor of that house, celestial house, right? And all of it's taken care, a place in his house, of his celestial house of Virgo, and his celestial house as he is a Aquarius ascendant. So it's in his rising house, ascendant house as well, right? Okay, so, and what happened there? The celestial grandfather transitioned in his celestial house. The harbinger transitioned in his celestial house. Pluto was in his celestial house at that time, and now Pluto's is in his celestial house as an ascendant in his celestial house, right? So Michael Jackson, mashallah, plays a very pivotal role in these celestial events, right? Okay, now, and Pluto, as I said, represents Aries. Thus, I represent Pluto, right? MashaAllah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, Pluto was in Michael's celestial house at the time he was incarnated, and the time I was incarnated as well. And so, therefore, Michael Jackson plays a pivotal role in my life, mashallah, that I recognize, and he plays a pivotal role in these current events, right? He's a dispositor of, the events that are occurring in the house of Aries, as well as, the house of Aquarius, as well as the house of Virgo, celestial house of Virgo, right? So, that's why I say he's celestial daddy. Michael Jackson's the celestial daddy, my celestial daddy. I respect that. I respect my daddy. I love my daddy. And my celestial dad, my dad transitioned in Michael's celestial house, right? And then Michael Jackson, basically in 1969, he transitioned, and Michael Jackson, mashallah, subhanahu made his debut on Ed Sullivan in 1969, right? So my dad was, my celestial dad, as it relates to Michael Jackson, began to ascend, right? And that's when the new age of Aquarius was starting as well, 1969, the 50s and, 1960s. All these events were occurring, right? And Woodstock is something symbolic of that, and that's why I like to listen to Carlos Santana, because for me, Carlos Santana represents the new age of Aquarius as well, as it relates to him in that electric guitar, because it's of the electrical age, right? Okay, and also Carlos Santana joined with Michael Jackson in the song "Whatever Happens," right? Okay, just don't let go of my hand, right? Okay, so anyway, now, so Michael Jackson plays a pivotal role in the current events as it relates to, as it's obvious, right? And Michael Jackson's birthday is Safar, also in the month of Safar. He's 13, Safar 13, right? Okay, which was Safar 1378, August 29, 1958. Okay. Now, so Michael was making his ascending, right? Right in through the age of Aquarius, right? As the age of Aquarius was approaching, right? We were on the eve of the age of Aquarius, right? And okay, so now, as I said, Michael Jackson plays a pivotal role as this Rainbow Kingdom is dedicated to following the legacy of Michael Joe Jackson, right? And Michael Jackson representing a messenger, right? As Mercury represents the messenger, and the celestial sphere of the messenger of the sun, right? Because it absorbs that energy, then transfers it through the universe, right? I mean the solar system, as does what? The moon, right? So Mercury's only second to the moon, right? Okay, as it relates to the speed in which it travels through the universe, right? Okay, now, so now, where was I at? Okay, so the axis of Virgo, Leo, so starting at Leo, and Aquarius, and Virgo, and Pisces. Okay, so those are, well, we got all the accesses, but the main ones that are involved, the main characters, right, is Leo and Aquarius, Virgo, Pisces and Virgo, Aries and Libra, right? Aries and Libra. And Libra's representing the falling away, right? Because the South Node is what? Shitanyahu. The South Node is the left hand of the moon, right? The left hand of the moon represents the left hand, right? The South Node represents the left hand. What do you do with the left hand? Clean your body. You clean your lower half. You feed with your right hand, you feed your mouth. With the left hand, you wipe the lower mouth, right? The exiting mouth, right? Okay. So all the stuff is coming out of the South Node, right? The 50,000 celestial year is coming out through the South Node, right? Okay, the South Node being the waste from the body, right? Okay, so, and that's where Netanyahu is, and the Ashkenazis are in the occupation of Palestine, right? Because it was occupied, Netanyahu, right, and the establishment of the Zionist occupation was during the time of a South Node, right? So it's no wonder what they're going through, right? Just like the Texas crisis at the border, that's not a mystery either, because what do we got going on? We got this eclipse, and it's starting in Texas. The eclipse of the 8th, Ramadan 29th, is starting at the 8th. Starting in Texas and going all the way to Little Egypt, right? And all the way east, right? Okay, so all these events that are happening are celestial, right? And because of what's going on in America, they won't be able to help the Zionists back there. So they're doing all they can to help them now, right? Because eventually the Zionist occupied powers are going to be on their own, right? So, because America won't have time to help them, right? And American people aren't going to stand for, their fetish addiction with the Ashkenazi Zionists and their world, what do they call it, aristocratic Oedipus complex to be superior over the East. They can't be superior over the East, right? They just can't. Ashkenazi Zionism is not superior to the Eastern cultures that civilized the world. They're just not that. The Zionist aristocratic Ku Klux Klan, Nazi, and all that supremacy. I won't even call it white supremacy, because that would be insulting a lot of Europeans, because a lot of Europeans are not Nazis. All Europeans are not Nazis. All Europeans are not Zionists. All Europeans are not murderers. All Europeans are not racist. So I won't say that, but we will say they're Ashkenazi, Ukrainians, Khazars, right? Zionists, cave people, Neanderthals. And all Europeans aren't Neanderthals, right? Okay. Okay, so now we said, okay. So what's going on at the border is, Texas border is the preliminary to the eclipse, right? Okay, Ramadan 29, right? And what's going to be going on, the shift in America. Okay, Corpse America, to remove Corpse America. Okay, the occupation in America. So the occupation in the East is going to be in, and the occupation of the West. I mean, the occupation of the East with the Ashkenazis and the occupation in Palestine is going to end with, mashallah, also the occupation of Republic America, that occupying that rat child occupation of the West and bleeding it dry, sucking its resources, enslaving its people. That occupation, Corpse America, and making its people debt slave is going to end too, and it's already starting with Texas, right? You're seeing it going on in Texas and New York, right? Traveling the axis of where that eclipse is going to be, okay? You can see it coming, right? Okay. Now, so, and you, if you can see that coming, then you also know to begin to prepare yourselves, okay? Okay. Now, because you can see what the boycott of the truckers did in taking matters into their own hands, right? Taking matters into to their own hand, not to hurt anybody, but to show, demonstrate they've had enough. Just like the young lady said in the video, the blue-collar working man has had a fucking enough of the denigration, the so-called libeling them as toxic masculinity, because they choose to remain men, right? They choose to maintain their divine masculinity, right? And the lack of respect they get, for the hard work, the hard labor that they do. They're tired of it, and their voice is not trying to take away their voice by penalizing and robbing the one whom they choose to elect, and that's PDJT, right? Trying to take away their voice by taking away the person they choose to represent them, and which is most of the country. The majority of the country chooses PDJT to represent them, to represent their social economic affairs, and to maintain the Constitution, and to pay reparations, mashallah, okay? And to free, emancipate what's his name? Abraham Lincoln, emancipate my DMT, melanated, richly melanated Hebrew Israelites from mass incarceration, the Joe Biden crime bill. We're going to video 6 or 7.